Hi everyone, it's Patricia here. Week 3 of my microdosing journey. I'm microdosing Iboga, which is a bark of a root of a tree um, that's quite well known for producing a hallucinogenic trip when taken in high amounts. But microdosing, the whole point is that you take a tenth of that dose or some, fraction so that you don't get the hallucinogenic effect, but you might get the mood uplifting or otherwise revealing effects of the wood, as they call it. Um, in the vernacular, it's called the wood. And the whole point really is to learn something about yourself and to kind of explore. It's very much an exploratory situation that you're involved with. Microdosing is a journey. And I'm on week 3. And so this is my update for week 3, which I have to say, obviously, week 2 was a bit of a strange one because I suddenly got this massive cold sore, which is just going down, as you can see. I haven't got the lump anymore, it's just a little scar. That was a bit of a shock. And I was suffering hot sweats from the first week. That has gone. So it's been quite a lot of physical effects. Week 3, a lot less. I haven't really noticed much at all. I haven't really noticed on the days I'm on. I'm not on an on day today, I'm on an on day tomorrow. But the day that I was on, I didn't really feel much different. The dreams have continued. My dreams seem to be telling me something about forgiveness, about people that have hurt me or I've hurt. And, the whole theme is about recovering that and revealing to me how this is part of life's journey and that you can't really go through life without being hurt or having hurt somebody because, we're human and we make mistakes and we make bad decisions. And some people will inevitably make decisions which hurt us, whether in relationships or at work or with money. So I wanted to talk today because I haven't got so much to report about what's going on with me this week, other than I'm obviously dealing with whatever's going on and getting it out of my system. Was my why. Why did I decide to do this? Because it's a little bit out of my comfort zone for sure. I was, as I said in the first video, very nervous. I thought maybe I'd be feeling a bit weird, but I haven't at all. I felt very normal, apart from perhaps the first week feeling a little bit like having a much more buoyant approach. I felt quite uplifted. The reason I wanted to get involved was basically because I work in the field of mental health and I'm a therapist who works with people with anxiety mainly. I also work with people with long-term chronic conditions like chronic fatigue or pain. But the main symptom, it seems to me, for all of these conditions, which links them all, is a high stress response. And anxiety is a manifestation of buried emotions that sort of come up and, well, they affect your gut, actually. They affect your body. Emotions are, as I've said many times in my other videos, they're not just feelings. They have a physiological change in your body and they change your set point for stress in your brain. And so you're much more likely to be triggered into anxious states. And that's certainly been the case for me. And that was the reason why, on a personal level, I wanted to try microdosing to see if it changed my anxiety levels and maybe took this level down a bit so that I'm not quite as on edge or hypervigilant as we call it. I did notice that initially because I think I said in week 1 that, what would normally trigger me didn't go quite as deeply and I was a little bit more calm and I had this feeling about, oh, well, it doesn't matter, which is something I never think. But my other reason for doing it is more professional, and because I want to know, is this an opportunity for people to heal stuff? If they don't want to work one-to-one with someone like me, could they do this with guidance at home and it have an effect. And I don't like to recommend any therapy that I haven't tried myself. And so this microdosing is being really experimented with at the moment, not just by people on their own, but in research circles. There's a lot of research being done. So there's a lot of hope around these plant medicines, I guess you'd say. Now, sometimes you microdose with the original plant, which is what I'm doing. But in research, you often isolate the chemical, like you would take out the ibogaine from the iboga to use, because research, they like to have purity. They don't like to mess around. That's why you don't get a lot of research on foods, for instance, because you don't know what confounding factors there'll be in the food, you know, how it's eaten, what other chemicals or minerals or vitamins there might be in there. So scientific research has gone down this road where it likes to test one thing and one thing only. And so they don't really like plants because they contain all sorts of things that we don't really understand and we don't know. So they tend to isolate the one chemical that they're looking at. But I think that's limited because plants, as we know, are not, they're not just biochemical factories. They have intelligence. They have an energetic response. And to us, actually, you know, they've shown that trees respond to us and plants respond to us. They have a nervous system. It's less developed than ours, but it's still there, that they respond to light and heat and moisture. So the chemistry of plants is very much linked with ours, I think, because we've evolved with them. And we dismiss that and we try and isolate. That's what man does. We distill things down and we try and make it simplistic, where it's not, it's complex. Biochemistry is complex, and plants and animals and the interaction with our earth is complex. It's actually been studied as part of complexity theory. That's what my book was about, my latest book on the mystery of numbers. So my why really is about looking at it from a holistic point of view. You know, what can it do for the individual? I'm not here to trip out and tell you my funny stories. I'm here with a very serious purpose to find out if it helps me, and if it helps me, will it help other people? And what I'd like to do eventually is probably train in microdosing therapy, if it ever becomes possible in the UK. I know there are places you can train, probably in the US now and other countries, but we're in the vanguard of a movement away from pharmaceutical medicine. And I think, not that pharmaceutical medicine hasn't brought us immense, you know, benefits, it has, but we're going down that road now, and it's diminishing returns. You know, antibiotics are becoming less and less effective, and we're finding resistance. That's something when I was a researcher, that's what I worked on, antibiotic resistance. And we're finding also that the rise of chronic diseases is taking over from acute disease, and pharmaceutical medicine has much less to offer chronic problems, which are lifestyle based. They're based on the diets you eat, the thoughts you think, the kinds of environments you move around in, and what you carry from your childhood, you know, because a lot of that is programming your body. So, you know, we know disease and adverse childhood experience is really, really linked. So I think we need to stop going down this route of diminishing returns for, you know, high profits for big pharma. I've talked about that over and over again in many of my videos. So I am much more keen now to work with natural substances and changing the terrain of the body. And that's essentially what I'm trying to do by microdosing, and asking myself, is this a valid way forward for me and for the people that I work with? So that's my why. I'll be taking my fifth, I think, is it my fifth or sixth dose tomorrow? It's all in my calendar. And see how I feel after that. And then I've got another couple of weeks to go. So we'll see, and I'll keep you updated. I may continue for 6 weeks. I may decide to stop sooner if it feels like I've reached the point where I've achieved what I want to achieve. At the moment, I wouldn't say my anxiety levels are any better. They're about the same. So it's I've had that sort of brief period of feeling, oh, this is really amazing, and then perhaps not so much now. But that could be part of the journey. And I know that when I'm working with people, we get highs and lows along the way, and it's not a straight line into recovery. So I'm being allowing of that. This week is obviously, it's been quite a stressful week in some ways. So um, that could be why, perhaps, and just see what happens after this. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll drop some links in the description below. And if you're interested in following me on my microdosing journey further, and you've got any questions for me, please comment, drop them in the box below, and I will aim to reply. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.